and welcome back to the Dear Herbalist podcast. My name is Justaria, and I am so excited that you guys are out there listening today. If you are new, you are most certainly welcome. And if you are a returning listener, thank you so much for your continued support. Tonight, we are going to talk about something that I think many herbalists struggle with, but not enough people openly talk about. We see beautiful herbal apothecaries online. We see shelves lined with tinctures. If you look online or even in Pinterest, you see hand-blended teas, homemade salves, fermented remedies. You see these beautiful pictures of drying herbs hanging from every corner and elaborate garden systems, right? When you're looking out there. And while those things are wonderful, many of us are raising families, working full-time jobs, caring for loved ones, running businesses, homeschooling children, or simply just navigating the demands of everyday life. So at some point, even though, we look at these things and we look at these pictures and we look at what every other herbalist is doing or garden enthusiast is doing, at some point we find ourselves asking, why is it so hard to stay consistent with herbal medicine? And the truth is, the problem is usually not a lack of passion, because you have that. The problem is often that we've tried to build herbal practices that require way more time and way more energy than our current season of life will allow. So tonight I want to share a different perspective. Instead of striving for perfection, let us focus on creating herbal rhythms. Simple systems, sustainable habits, practices that support us instead of draining us. So by the end of tonight's episode, you're going to walk away with practical strategies for habit stacking, weekly herbal prep, and building an herbal lifestyle that actually works for busy families. And if you're out there in today's society with children, dog, spouses, and everything else, I'm sure you are a busy family. So what I want you guys to do, grab your notebooks, notepads, back of a receipt, you know the drill, and let's dive into this topic. Now, a lot of reasons why people kind of struggle to move forward is simply because they are burnt out. All right. And burnout is a real thing that happens in herbal medicine, and it often happens when expectations exceed capacity. So when you start, oftentimes you're excited, you're ready to dive in, you've heard about this, you've heard about that, you've got the books, you've listened to the podcast, you watch YouTube channels, so you are on 1000%. But what you don't realize is that you don't have to eat the whole elephant, as they say. 5 minutes a day will often create more transformation than 5 hours once a month. So you don't want to hit the gates running, you want to pace yourself. In herbal medicine, you want to pace your studies. You want to pace what you know. You want to start using what you know immediately rather than just holding on and storing and collecting a whole bunch of information and not actually putting it to use. So burnout typically happens for that reason, and we want to try to avoid that by having healthy habits. So with that being said, one of the most powerful tools that busy families can use, and some often do use, is what's called habit stacking. Habit stacking means that you're attaching a new habit to something that you're already doing. So instead of creating a completely new routine, you connect herbal practices to an existing habit. So I'm going to give you some examples of that. Okay. Let's talk about the morning time. So if you already make a coffee every morning, right? While your coffee is brewing, you can take that time to prepare an herbal infusion. And that's it. No separate routine required. You're just kind of adding on to what you already do. Another thing is, let's say with a toothbrush, you can use that as a reminder. Keep herbal tinctures near your toothbrush. So that way, every time you brush your teeth, you remember your herbs. Plain and simple, consistent, and effective, because hopefully we're brushing our teeth every day, right? Another habit is a kitchen counter herbs, right? So what you can do is place a tea blend where you will see it every single day, because visibility creates consistency. So by doing these things, you'll realize you don't need more motivation. You just need more visual cues. And having it near what you're already doing or have access to will trigger your mind to be like, oh, I need to do that. Oh, I can do that. Another one is a family meal stack. And oftentimes we do this really before breakfast in the morning. But let's say, for example, before dinner, you make everyone a nourishing herbal tea. And what this does, it turns herbalism into a regular family habit instead of like a special event all by itself. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is this. Many of us unintentionally create an all or nothing approach. We tell ourselves, if I'm going to make tea, it has to be the perfect blend. If I'm going to garden, I need 50 different medicinal plants to get started, even to be effective. If I'm going to make remedies, I need the entire weekend to just devote to that. But that's not reality. So when life gets busy, when you look at it, these expectations that you set for yourself, they start to become overwhelming. And what happens when it becomes overwhelming? Then we stop altogether. And what this creates is a cycle, a bad cycle is that one. It's a cycle of excitement, perfectionism, overwhelm, abandonment. Then you're guilty. Then it's back to repeat. Excitement, perfectionism, overwhelm, abandonment, guilt, and repeat. And so nobody wants to feel that. Nobody wants to start and set those cycles because it will set you back. But we can learn a lot from plants. Plants teach us something different. Nature operates through a rhythm, not urgency, not perfection, but a rhythm. The plants don't do everything all at once. They move through seasons, growth seasons, rest seasons, harvest seasons. You can learn a lot by simply paying attention to plants, not worshiping plants, but observing plants, like our ancestors used to do. And if you're an herbalist, you understand the importance of modeling your practices after nature. Nature teaches us something if we pay attention to it. And in this process of herbalism and gathering plants and creating medicines and all that, consistency is what matters more than intensity. I'll say that again. Consistency matters more than intensity. So that is something that you want to focus on. So for example, let's say for bedtime, you can pair some calming herbs with your bedtime routines. Perhaps you can use chamomile tea while reading or anxiety. Shameless plug on my site. Lemon balm before, the evening journaling. Again, the key is not to add more activities. It's connecting herbalism to the routines that you already have happening. So ask yourself, what am I doing already every single day? Then what you want to do is attach one herbal practice to that. I'll say it again. Ask yourself, what am I already doing every single day? Then attach one herbal practice to that. It keeps it simple. It keeps you engaged. It keeps you encouraged. All right. So let me give you a weekly herbal prep system. Okay. This is a system that can completely transform your consistency. So you want to think of it almost like a meal prep, but for herbal wellness. So choose one day each week. It could be Sunday. It could be Monday evening, Friday afternoon, whatever day you want to choose. Just keep it simple. Step 1, make one large infusion. So that means you can prepare a quart of nourishing herbs, okay, herbal tea. You can use nettle, oat straw, red clover, green tea, whatever favorite blend you have, and then store it in the refrigerator. Let it steep, and now you have an herbal nourishment for a couple days, next couple days. All right. Step 2, refill the basics. So check your tea jars, check the honey, check the tinctures, your favorite herbs, and make sure that you are refilling anything that is running low. This is an important part of your herb prep. Step 3, create a remedy basket. So inside of this basket, you want to keep commonly used items together. So for example, you may have some elderberry syrup in there, some herbal teas, a thermometer, honey, tinctures, some salves. If you keep it all in kind of a basket, there is no searching, there is no stress, there is no thousands of bottles hidden in a cabinet somewhere that you have to like sort through. Everything you have is very accessible. It's right there at your fingertips. And the chances of you using it is higher because it's right there. Step 4, check the family calendar. This is important. Look ahead. Do you have a busy week? Are you traveling? Are there any school events? You want to prepare accordingly. Match your herbal support to your schedule. Now, this could take about 20 to 30 minutes, but trust me, it will save you hours of decision fatigue throughout the week. You don't want to have to sit after a busy day at work and be like, oh my gosh, I have, stomach issues. I shouldn't have eaten at that company potluck. What in the world could I do for that? Right? I'm just going to go to bed. Or I'm just going to grab some Pepto-Bismol and keep it moving. No. You get some stuff out of your herbal basket. Remember, the goal is not preparing everything. The goal is reducing daily friction. And I teach a lot of herbalists that you want to focus on having remedies on hand for common issues that you may have in your household. If there's digestive issues, you want to have herbs for that. If you have children that have allergies, you want herbs for that. If you have children that are in school, having access to any and every bit of gunk and foolishness that goes on at the school, you want to have some kind of daily protection for them. You want to make sure that you are customizing the herbs that you need. That's another way that'll reduce the overwhelm. Because a lot of people, it's easy to get overwhelmed if you're like, there's 500,000 herbs out there. I don't know where to begin. I don't know where to start. I don't know if I should have a tincture. I don't know if I should get a tea. I know these are the issues we have at home, and so you want to focus on everything. Like I said before, you just want to eat the whole elephant. Well, don't do that. Don't do that. Start with where you are and what you have. Start with the issues that are going on in your family, all right? And focus on the remedies to address those. Once you start making those and then you start using those and you see that they work and you start formulating everything works, that'll give you more confidence. So you want to take small steps. Don't try to take big leaps. Okay? So let's talk about making herbalism sustainable for real life, your life. One of the biggest mindset shifts we can make is moving from complexity to sustainability. So you want to ask yourself, what is the smallest herbal practice that I can realistically maintain? Now, right now, that may only be drinking 1 cup of herbal tea a day. Or you may say, you know what, tinctures seem to be easier for me, so I'm going to keep it by my toothbrush with a little cup in case I need to get some water or something like that. And I could just do that every day after I brush my teeth. Start there. Start right there. You could also say, maybe I'll just focus on growing 3 medicinal herbs. And of course, grow the medicinal herbs you're going to use. Okay? Not just because they're pretty or because you heard on TikTok that this is the latest, greatest, whatever. No, focus on the herbs that you will use, that you've learned about. Okay? So it could be growing 3 medicinal herbs instead of 40. Start there. Maybe it's learning 1 herb deeply each month rather than trying to master everything. Wonderful. Start there. The beauty of herbal medicine is that it's not a race. The plants will still be here. The wisdom will still be here. You don't have to earn your place in this community through exhaustion. Some seasons allow for more projects. You may have a little bit more time, may even have a little bit more energy. But other seasons may require simplicity because of your busy lifestyle. You're like, I can't do that. I can't sit at home for a couple hours and wait for things to steep and do all this kind of stuff. No, honor the season you're in. No matter which season you're in, both are valuable, both are natural, and both deserve to be appreciated. So let me give you, I guess I should say, let me leave you with a simple herbal rhythm framework. Okay, this is an easy framework. So what I want you to think about, for every day, 1 herbal touch point. It could be a tea, it could be a tincture, it could be a herbal foot soak. Just something simple every single day. Every single week, one prep session. During this prep session, you want to be refilling your supplies. You want to be making teas. You want to be preparing your remedies. Every week. Just one session, okay? Monthly. Every month, you want to learn about a new plant. Read one chapter, okay, on plant medicine. Try one new recipe every single month. And then seasonally, review your herbal goals. So adjust to your current life circumstances. Again, if it doesn't apply to your life, the chances of you sticking it out or being excited about it or even feeling that it's helpful to you or effective to you is if you feel like this is a part of my life. I've integrated it into my life versus, the herb from all the way over in Africa somewhere. I have no opportunity to get it. And if I did get it, what do I do with it? No, it has to be something that applies to your life and merges with your life beautifully. So the framework that I gave you, it prevents overwhelm and it also supports long-term growth because by doing this, it'll become a habit. Once it becomes a habit, it's your rhythm, it's your flow, and it'll be easy for you. You could do it without even thinking about it. You won't even have to plan. It's just, today's Sunday. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I go ahead and refill my stuff, restock my teas. I got some tinctures and stuff that I'm waiting on finishing up. So just get organized above all. Small actions repeated consistently create lasting change. Somebody once said that. Small actions repeated consistently create lasting change. Now, as I wrap up tonight's episode, I want to remind you of something that is very important. You do not have to do all the herbal things to be considered an herbalist. You don't need a perfect garden. You don't need hundreds of remedies. You don't need an Instagram-worthy apothecary. What matters most is your relationship with the plants. And relationships are built through small, consistent moments. A cup of tea or a daily tincture, a few herbs in your garden, a quiet walk outside. When we create rhythms instead of rigid expectation, then herbalism becomes something that nourishes us instead of another item on our to-do list. And if any of you out there have to-do lists, as wonderful as it feels to be able to check stuff off of them, sometimes I feel like my to-do list is a never-ending to-do. It's to do and to keep going and to keep going after that. So you don't want another thing on your to-do list that just feels like another item. So this week, I encourage you to choose just one practice, one habit stack, one prep system, one small step, and trust that those small steps will grow into something beautiful over time. So, thank you so much for spending time with me this evening. And if this episode has encouraged you, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on all of my social media sites at The Demystified Herbalist. And let me know which herbal rhythm you are implementing this week. I want to know. So until next time, stay rooted, stay curious, and keep listening to the wisdom of the plants. And with that being said, family, I'm out.